This the War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space. Now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
What? That's outrageous. That's what I was thinking.
So, you think you're untouchable?
Word life. This is basic thugonomics. This is basic thugonomics. Word life. I'm untouchable, but I'm forcing you to feel me. Word life. This is basic.
Ladies and gentlemen, children are crying, adults are celebrating. After 20 plus years, John Cena has turned heel, and it was on Cody fucking Rhodes. Welcome to the War Report After Dark. We have so much to break down, from Elimination Chamber to what took place last night on Raw. We got a full panel. Fucking John Cena's a heel, ladies and gentlemen. Is it too late? I don't think so. It's never too late, right?
It's perfect.
There is no question in my head that John Cena is not winning the title at WrestleMania.
How can you lose with The Rock on your side?
Well, that's what I mean, right? Like, something's got to happen. And it doesn't have to be clean, even though it's John Cena.
Right. Dude.
Everything about the segment. The fact that Cody Rhodes told The Rock to go fuck himself on Raw TV, even though it was Netflix. We've never heard the F-bomb dropped in a promo ever on WWE television until Elimination Chamber. That alone was huge. And then the change in Cena's face.
That wasn't Netflix. That was Peacock.
It was Peacock.
Oh, or Peacock, right. Which is even crazier. Right. You're right. Even crazier.
Yeah.
I wish it was on Netflix, quite honestly. But anyway, the whole expression change on Cena and then the kick to the nuts. I mean, the only Travis Scott, I could have done without him. I felt he was very out of place.
He was useless there.
Right. He did nothing for the segment.
Well, he slapped the shit out of Cody.
He
For
did.
real, for real.
He like
bro.
busted his eardrum or
I
something,
wish I
right?
could do that.
And I think he smoked the blunt once again on now in the ring, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was smoking a blunt too. But
Pretty cool.
John Cena's heel. I still can't believe it. This is the biggest fucking heel turn since Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, for sure.
By far.
Absolutely. 100%. And
You never saw it coming. The fact that nothing leaked, how secure everything was, how they tied everything in with The Rock from months ago.
right.
It was amazing.
How amazing is the fucking storytelling in this oh my god moment we just had? Like, if you really think about it,
It's unreal.
and all the memes, and then it starts hitting you like, holy shit, you're right. Like, he did make the John Cena sign at that PLE. So
Oh, when
that,
he did 3, yeah.
it was great. I couldn't, and then the whole thing when like the cameraman they did great at just cutting right to his face when he went from smiling to just straight evil.
Yeah, that was great.
John
Like, as
Cena
soon as the
acting
Like all
face.
life went out of his
Oh
face. Yeah.
man, like, and you saw it in his eyes that his soul was taken away. Like he was gone. It wasn't John Cena. You can't see me, John Cena. You know, it was fucking awesome.
Could definitely see.
I
this
really
in-
hope he does come back as Thugonomics.
I hope not, because I didn't like that Thugonomics, and I don't think him rapping next to The Rock is gonna make sense.
I love Thugonomics John Cena back in the day, especially when he was throwing around bags of nuts in the crowd. I mean, it was just great.
I think he's gonna corporate John Cena.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what it sounds like. He's going to be the corporate Cena. Before we really get into it, David Roscoe over at YouTube, John Cena turns heel for the first time since 2003. He was 12 years old. John Cena is back, Dr. Thugonomics with The Rock and John Cena. David also says, Trish Stratus been listening to my comments.
It's gotta be, dude. Just
It's
listen.
got to be David Roscoe. And I'm still in shock. John Cena turns heel. No one knew. It's unbelievable that nobody knew. They really did a great job keeping it on the hush. Tara's on. She says hi. She has to say, as a fan, she loved it. The aunt of the 6-year-old little boy whose favorite wrestler is Cody Rhodes didn't care Cody's F-bomb. I mean, whatever. It brings realism to it. I love everything about it. Ryan, the only negative for Cena turning heel is everyone wanted it to happen. Well, see, that's the other problem they're going to have, too, because there are people that did cheer John Cena.
Dude, there was a lot of people cheering.
But it's all the adults are cheering and all the kids are crying.
Well, they've managed to John Cena Cody Rhodes, meaning that
Right.
this is the same thing that they've did with John Cena. They put heels that were more popular, older veterans against him, and they would get cheered. Like Triple H got cheered over John Cena, even though John Cena was supposed to be the babyface. Same thing for Shawn Michaels. Same thing for Kurt Angle, JBL. A lot of the guys that he faced were veteran guys that were heels, and they ended up kind of getting cheered because they were a little bit more interesting, or whatever the case was. Dude, this is wild. If you told me back in SummerSlam of 2006 when Boston, the whole city of Boston, booed John Cena against Edge, if you told me that he was going to turn heel now, I'd be like, that's why. That's
Never
crazy.
in a million years would I have ever expected.
The one thing I'm very in awe about is what this does for the character of Cody Rhodes. That it took Cody Rhodes to have John Cena turn heel. So that in itself is a power move, because they've been trying for years and nobody but this guy does it. And I'm in awe with it. It makes a lot of sense. And it's a desperation move, right? Because John Cena, if we recall before this last time around, was in a losing streak, a very long losing streak.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
desperation.
yeah,
He's getting older. He's not in the ring every day.
And he wants that 17th win.
And he wants that 17th win.
Mm-hmm.
And what does
Dave-
he does? Power move.
Right.
He gets himself in the chamber without qualifying or anything. We should have known from the beginning. We should have known.
But you never would have expected it because it's John Cena,
Right.
and at this late in his career, you're not expecting it to happen now. But boy, am I happy it happened. Dave Abbey over at YouTube, Roman was hidden until he turned. That's very true, too. Tyra can't believe he turned heel so close to his retirement. So, but it's like now or never, right? Like, if you're going to have one more heel run, you got to do it now because you're winding down. But it was so well done. The storytelling is great. The way they're tying everything together is great. The affiliation with The Rock now, which is a weird dynamic, right? You know?
Yeah.
But in a great way. So it just, WWE is just killing it right now on all cylinders. I mean, that heel turn, it blows. For 2 hours, I was on TikTok watching reaction videos because they're hilarious. But it's the same way I reacted. I just didn't fucking record it. You know, I was dozing by the end because I had to start it late. So I was dozing towards the end, and then I hear, you know, hey, Rock, go fuck yourself. Now I'm awake, and I'm like, okay, that just happened, right? And then the kick in the nuts after the throat slit and the hug. And dude, it was so great. So fucking great.
It means something. It is his last run. At the end of the Rumble, when he lost to Jay, there was a moment where he raised Jay's hand. We're like, oh, something's going to happen. And it didn't happen. So, there were little breadcrumbs along the way, but nobody really thought they would go full because they've never chosen to do this. This is not,
They came very close at one point.
Yeah, it was
and then Vince pulled the trigger because he didn't want to lose the kids with the merchandise sales and all that, if I remember correctly. I think that's pretty much what it boiled down to.
Right.
Because Cena was ready. They had music made, like he was ready to do it. I mean, listen, all the top guys will always tell you it's more fun to play the heel.
Yeah.
Triple H has said that on talk shows. They all feel that way. It's more fun. Dave Abbey, the only mistake that they made was that there's too much time until Mania. I think Cena is going to get a much bigger pop than Cody in the main event. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a lot of time between now and Mania, and how much is John going to be around? Because we haven't really seen him except for the pay-per-views.
The 17th is the next Raw appearance he's going to have.
Oh, they announced that?
Yeah, the Germany Raw.
Yep, Germany one.
Ryan, with the heel turn, could it be a possibility that Cena isn't retiring at the end of the year?
It seems like he's done.
I don't know. I tend to think it's a done deal. Tara, but I also have to say I was disappointed that Cody didn't turn because I feel it would have made his character more interesting. John Cena turning heel is the biggest thing since Hulk Hogan. So to me, I wouldn't have that same feeling with Cody.
But right, but I get what she said. We were talking about this last week, where something has to kind of kick this Cody Rhodes thing in the pants and give it a little kickstart. And
he did. Yeah. He kicked him right in the nuts.
Yeah, this is what we needed. Yes, he definitely did. But we talked about this. The only, and I think I said it before the Elimination Chamber when we were making our prediction. I was like, I think John Cena should win the Elimination Chamber, and I don't think I would ever hear myself saying this. I think John Cena should win at WrestleMania. This was the problem they always had with John Cena, was they would build up somebody else who would get real over, but because the plan was for him to just win and constantly be the champ, Cena always went over at WrestleMania, kind of in a predictable fashion. He'd get super kicked or pedigreed until his head was coming off, and then he'd win the match. So if they can fix that, if they can have the heel go over Cody, if Cena wins as a bad guy at WrestleMania and gets his number 17, that's a story. Because then what's the fallout from that? Does Cody try and get it back? Does somebody else step up? Does The Rock want it? Is this a plan all along for The Rock to get the title off Cody so that he could get it on himself?
Right.
I think Cena winning opens up more interesting possibilities than Cody they build up this big heel for the next however many weeks, 5 weeks, and he just loses to Cody. Then what? Right. Then what? Then he has to turn back babyface and face The Rock at SummerSlam or something, which is fine, but where does John Cena's arc go if he just turns heel, loses to Cody? Okay, the whole reason I turned heel was for nothing now. Then where do we go? He has to win.
I will damn near piss myself if John Cena comes out the next time he's on Raw and says, I did it for The Rock. I will piss myself.
Did you see somebody say they want him to come out and say that we have revived and resuscitated Osama bin Laden? He's back.
Finger poke of doom. Rock wins title from Cena.
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine if that's how Cena drops the 17th title by a finger poke? That would be amazing.
Oh, man. Yeah, that'd be great. I don't think they'd do that. They definitely
would never happen. I cannot see it happen.
But it would be hilarious.
It would be.
Yeah.
But you
It
were
was-
talking about videoing reactions. I wish I videotaped my living room with how many crying kids I had at the end of that show.
Oh,
Well, that's why I don't know if you heard it because
God.
you weren't on, but I said at the beginning, I said the children are crying and the adults are celebrating.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
and that's why you're getting such a mixed reaction too in the crowd, because the kids all love Cody. The adults
Yeah.
love heel Cena and have been waiting for this for so goddamn long.
Gabby
So-
was stopping saying, "John, how could you?"
He got the reaction.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you
You
get
got the
you're getting
reaction.
what you want.
Literally sobbing, and I'm like, literally, like you said, I'm jumping up and down, like, "Holy shit, this is not happening!" And I'm dancing around like I am a kid. And then I turn around and see all my kids crying. I'm like, "Oh shit!"
I really couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
Right? It was.
It was just at its best. Like, Mitch, this is your first like big heel turn. Like something that is like game changing.
It's also the world's biggest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Heel
like you
turn.
said, it's the biggest thing since Hogan NWO.
And I mean, when I last watched wrestling was kind of when Cena was heel already with Thugonomics and everything. So it was just cool to see him kind of go back to being a dick.
Yep.
And watching him beat Cody's ass was the greatest thing I could have ever asked for.
Yes, sir.
It was great. It was so great.
Let's put it this way. I went from being furious that John Cena won. I'm like, fuck it, I can't. Why the? To being like, holy shit, John Cena, I love you.
See, I couldn't be mad that he won because I assumed it was happening. So I was already mentally prepared for it, and the crowd was overwhelmingly excited that John won, which I thought
Right.
was great.
And
But
I get that. But
Yeah,
I,
but that heel turn, I literally sat there with my mouth on the floor for 10 minutes. I just stared at the TV. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It was so great. So great. Something we just didn't ever see happening. And that's what made it even better. I always get so angry because everything leaks and you find out about big shit before. Like there's no element of surprise.
Yeah,
This is why I preach it all the time. Because the way we're feeling is because of that element of surprise. Because you just never saw it coming. And that's the magic of WWE and pro wrestling when it's done right. So
yeah.
it was fantastic. And not for nothing, the Elimination Chamber as a whole, I thought was a great pay-per-view. The women's Elimination Chamber, Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can't say enough about her. You really can't. I mean, look at all the scars she has from the match. She killed it in there, even though she didn't win. Alexa Bliss looked great. They all really did look great. Jade Cargill destroying Naomi in the beginning was
awesome.
that was the best Jade has looked in the WWE.
And Bianca
Everything was
fell-
crisp, right?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
And Bianca fell in the pod,
yeah.
just added to it 1,000,000%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
it was great, but we still now have to hear from Jade. How does she know it was Naomi? Was it officially Naomi? Like, we still need answers, but man, she looked great, and that was a great way to start the chamber. You know what I mean? Like, it was off with a bang. So, and that match was great, and I was happy with the finish. Roxanne Perez did a great job. I mean, they did their thing. Bianca, okay. It makes sense, right? Because they got the titles off of them. Now they're going to push her that way. And they're going to figure out this whole thing with Jade now and Naomi. Alexa Bliss is probably going to have a feud with Roxanne Perez. That's kind of what I'm feeling from it. Plus, she's really making her way towards the whole Wyatt 6 deal, which that I'm excited for. So it makes sense, kind of everything. I don't know what Bailey's going to do yet. And Liv is a tag champion right now. Huh?
Retire.
No, they won't have her retire. She's actually been on like every show lately. She's been doing Raw, SmackDown, and NXT.
I
Yeah.
know it's disappointing.
David Rosca, Jade Cargill attacked Naomi. Yes, sir. That's what we're talking about. But yeah, it was great. What?
I said, and Nadia Comaneci scored a perfect 10.
Yeah. So I thought the women's was great. And then You had the Trish Stratus, Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax, Candice LeRae tag match. It was pretty much a filler. It was a way to get Trish in front of Canada and help get Tiffany Stratton over. It served its purpose. It was a great match. Obviously, Tiffy and Trish were going to win. And I was glad to see that Tiffany is the one that got the pinfall. Because it didn't have to be Trish. So I thought that was good. David Rosca, Trish Stratus versus Chelsea Green for the Women's United States Championship at WrestleMania 41. Why not? I would be good with that. Trish Stratus got booed from her hometown in Toronto. I didn't hear Trish get booed. Yeah, I didn't hear that either. So I don't know.
I thought Trish was looking really crisp out there for
Trish looked great.
Who comes out and wrestles? She's like Daniel Day-Lewis, where she comes out and wrestles like once every 12 years and gets an Academy Award. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, do this more often. Like, just, like she not that she needs to wrestle all the time, but like to have her mentor somebody like Tiffy and kind of like be her manager or something. There's a role for a Trish Stratus on this roster somewhere.
Right. At least when she comes back and does do this, she doesn't look like she has any ring rust at all. She puts on a solid performance.
Yeah, she doesn't look out of place.
She's always ready. Like, she's always ring ready, which is great. The no DQ match with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn was an absolute train wreck.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, how else do you... It was an absolute train wreck, as it should have been. It was great. There were some awesome spots. The storytelling... I mean, those two are always so good together because they've been doing it for so long together. It was great. The match was everything you expected it to be. The conclusion was what I expected, minus the return of Randy Orton. But that's always nice when you see Randy Orton return. So I guess that's going to be your Mania match. It's going to be Randy versus Kevin Owens.
Did he get bigger?
It really does look like Randy got even bigger, how is that possible?
It's not possible. Can't be. Oh, my God.
Cat's got a kid doing elbow drops on the couch.
Yeah, well, he was showing off his Randy Orton at first. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh my
God. He has to throw that one in there.
On YouTube, like every single time, Tommaso Ciampa tried to RKO Randy Orton, and I saw one like at the pool thing where Randy Orton's on the phone with somebody to help out Sami Zayn when I'm saying match, but he declined it, and then Tommaso Ciampa said, I'm gonna RKO Randy Orton. I'm gonna be so silent, he will never notice. So he tiptoed and literally started hitting it, and Randy Orton pushes him up into the ocean, and he was like, oof, I'm dead.
Go to bed.
Dave Abbey over at YouTube, a punt would have been awesome. Yeah. Well, I guess they're saving that for WrestleMania. That'll be the big, highlight of the match.
Yeah. I really wasn't expecting him to get involved in the Sammy KO feud. Like, I mean,
it makes sense though, because KO is the one that put him out. So
but he doesn't like. Traditionally, even Randy Orton as a babyface doesn't necessarily like other people. So him coming to the rescue of Sami Zayn was like, oh, that's kind of nice. Like, he's out helping somebody. That's good.
But prior to that, though, the argument between Randy Orton and Kevin Owens about the whole Cody Rhodes thing, like the three of them.
Oh, yes, it was back to yes.
So him getting hurt, so him coming back was like, retribution for that.
All in all, great pay-per-view.
Yes.
And then we had a great Raw last night. I mean, it just the hits just don't stop. It starts off with CM Punk pulling in and storming right down to the ring, doing the start of what would have been a phenomenal pipe bomb, and then gets interrupted by Seth Rollins. They meet on the ramp, and the brawl ensues.
Yeah.
who doesn't like a great brawl to open up Monday Night Raw?
Right?
Right? It was great. Great way to open. Now we have at Madison Square Garden next week a hell of a show lined up already because now you got Seth Rollins versus CM Punk inside of a steel cage.
I kind of want to go.
I know. Good luck. It's probably sold out already. This is MSG.
This is where you overpay. You pay an addendum.
True. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. But so that's going to be awesome. So what a great way to open the show. It was a night of championship matches. They had a lot of titles on the line. You had Otis versus Gunther, which was a great match overall. Like, Otis lasted a hell of a lot longer than I thought he would.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Jey Uso getting choked out, which is great. It's just all more and more leaning towards the fact that Jey Uso is winning at Mania.
Absolutely.
And we're all so excited.
I am.
I am. I am. I am.
I absolutely am. Like, I'm perfectly fine with him being the champion.
And he's fine. Like, that's what it is. It's fine. It's not good. It's not, but it's just fine. Like, and that's how I feel about it. Okay. Fine. We'll do it.
Okay, well, if you had your pick of Cody Rhodes being champion because you know how much you love Rhodes, or Jey Uso, which would you prefer?
God. I mean, yeah.
Even if it's a short run, he needs to have a title run at this point.
Yeah, and I think it's got to be because aside from like Money in the Bank cash-ins, the titles have all been pretty stagnant. The surprise to me was that they flipped this women's championship off of Rhea Ripley. So close
Shocked.
to Mania.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that coming either.
Of all the titles that I'm like, okay, they could flip this title to like get something going for WrestleMania. It wasn't that one because I thought everything was pretty much well set. We were going either.
Well, now
Rhea,
here's my
Bianca,
question.
Yeah.
So I thought it was great. Number one, I'm always happy for Io Sky because she fucking deserves it. So I wasn't angry with it, and I was very happy with the shock value of it because this close again to Mania, you just don't see it coming. I think this is going to set up a triple threat for the ladies. I think it's going to be Rhea, Io, and I think it's going to be Bianca for the title.
Yeah, I think so too. It'll be a triple threat.
And it's quite possible that Rhea wins it back at Mania.
Maybe, because I don't.
Then Bianca loses again. Maybe that's how she starts a heel turn of some sort. There's going to be something with her and Jade down the pipeline.
Correct.
Yeah. Now, based on her reaction, do you think that Bianca knew that Naomi was involved?
Assuming Naomi is involved,
right?
I do not think Bianca was aware, or they're going to just say she just put on the performance of a lifetime. Mark Henry-esque, if you will.
To pretend not to. Yeah. Because then,
now, Dave Abbey, I like this, and I agree. I think Jade cost Bianca the title. It's very possible.
Yeah.
Yep.
No DQs in a triple threat match.
Right. Takes her out during
Yes.
the match or whatever.
That's very possible.
And they're making such a big deal about Rhea's never. I didn't even realize that Rhea's never beaten Io, and as of yesterday, she still hasn't. But maybe Mania, she actually pins Io during that match.
Yeah, but how are we getting her back into the match? Because right now it's Bianca Io, right?
Can't she call her like title shot?
Her rematch, right?
Rhea's gonna go on a rage and just start attacking them all until Pierce just makes it a triple threat. That's my guess. Dave Abbey, I think Jade is pissed that they went on without her. See, now that's true too, and that would be a hell of a promo for Jade. Like you didn't hesitate, waste any time to find another partner and continue on this without me, kind of thing, or
What
Well,
if?
what to do?
what?
Yeah.
I said, what was Bianca supposed to do? Forfeit the titles?
Maybe Bianca was part of it.
But that would be part of the, you know.
That's what I was
get it.
thinking, Mitch. Is that maybe Bianca's, because Naomi almost seemed confused when Jade came out, and Bianca was like freaking out that Jade. So maybe Bianca has more. Maybe she was the one really behind it, or maybe it was her idea and Naomi just helped. Because we already heard on Raw from Liv, as we predicted, she was like, I have no clue what happened. I wasn't involved. Like, she was just messing around when she was saying, like, implying that she was involved. So now we know, they're narrowing it back down to, like, smaller list of suspects, and the list now is Naomi and Bianca.
Dave Abbey still can't understand how they kept the titles in the first place. I mean, totally agree with that, although that's kind of a thing they've been doing lately, because they did that with, what was the other?
Chelsea Green and what's her face, Piper Nevins?
Right.
Yeah.
She just came and swooped in. Right. So
she bullied her into that shit. Devoted.
Well, yeah, she devoted her. She did. She's like, I'm your partner now, and she just grabbed the title and walked away.
I'm the captain now.
She's like, yep, whatever you say, man.
Yeah, but look at it now.
Yeah.
She's her Secret Service, which is great, by the way. I love everything they're doing with the two of them. I really do. Chelsea Green is gold.
I don't know if you saw last week or whatever. I don't know. I heard part of the show, whatever, but Piper Niven dressed up as the Mountie last week was fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was so funny. So funny. So yeah, another great match on Raw. The Women's IC Championship, Lyra versus Ivy Nile. That match was crazy good.
Definitely.
Very entertaining.
That I actually had as match of the night, oddly enough.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. That Lyra girl is very crisp in the ring. She I don't know much about her, but is she like young in the game, or she's been around jumping into indies?
I've seen the name around before she went to WWE, but I don't think she's like, she's been doing it forever. Let's see here. She debuted in 2015, so I guess doing it for 10 years.
10 years. Yeah, she a vet. Okay. No, she's I really like her.
Yeah,
she's very. For me, I like when she's hitting the ropes. It's very Rey Mysterio-esque. Yeah, because she like goes into the bottom rope like he does. So I kind of like that about her. And she, she works with what she got. She's short, she's nimble, she's quick, she's right in your face. She's like a little Pippo. I like her.
She came from the NXT UK.
Yes, yeah.
I would have agreed with Kat that match was match of the night until I saw the War Raiders versus the Creed Brothers, and instantly became match of the night for me. That tag team, both of them together, just work really well. The Creed Brothers are crazy good, and the War Raiders. Happy birthday, by the way, to Ivar.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a great showing. Great match. And I was glad to see the War Raiders retain. The Chad Gable promo. I would have to imagine a mask was in the box.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. But that was very funny.
It's definitely not a wrestling headgear. I can tell you that. It's got to be a mask.
I wonder how ridiculous it's gonna look.
Who knows? I wonder if it's gonna be an American Mate-esque mask, but since that Mr. Fuji looking guy gave it to him, I don't know what kind of mask it could be.
Mr. Fuji.
It's gonna be funny. Either way, we're gonna laugh. I just have a feeling it's gonna be great. By the way, speaking of laughing, R-Truth reacting to John Cena turning heel.
That poor guy.
Was so great.
Yes.
He's one of those kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so great. Braun Breaker with Finn Balor. I guess that's going to be the match at Mania.
I think it's going to be multiple. For some reason, I feel like the U.S. match might be a multiple people match to get more people in there to showcase them, and also with the Intercontinental. Maybe not the Intercontinental because of Braun Breaker, but I think one of them will definitely be a like a 5 or a 4-way, something like that.
Yeah, and they usually do that with or without a ladder. They'll do that kind of match at WrestleMania.
Right.
Yeah.
With or without a ladder. It's just
It'll either
it'll
be 5-way. Yeah, because they did that at WrestleMania. Was it 34 in New Orleans for the U.S. title? It was like Seth Rollins and Luke Harper and a bunch of guys. So but then they had that one year where it was like a ladder match. The one that Zack Ryder won. So
the only when he won the white Intercontinental belt, I do remember that.
Yeah.
The only reason I think they might not be a ladder match is because we just had one like a month ago.
Right. So I think
it might. Yeah, it might just be a whatever match.
Exactly. Yeah, like 4-way, 5-way, whatever.
Right.
It's possible.
Oh yeah, and they're good for one of those at WrestleMania. They like having one of those big multi-man matches.
So, go ahead, Al.
No, I was gonna say, fuck it, give it to the girls. Let the U.S. title or the IC title be a ladder match. That'll be interesting.
Hey.
Ooh, very good.
The girls been putting a great show lately.
Oh yeah, they're great. So I want to shift.
Nikki Bella.
I want to shift gears for a minute, and I want to know if anybody. I know Kat already did. Anybody else check out LFG yet?
No.
Oh, you guys are killing me.
You guys are missing out on some great shit.
Right? It's so good. Those of you not watching, you got to check out LFG on Sundays on A&E. What, 9 o'clock? I think 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, one of the two. I record it and then I watch it without commercials. But yeah,
you know what grinds my gear?
What's that?
You not respecting my feelings about me telling you how WWE tries to take over your life, and I'm not doing that shit.
Right? Yeah,
I can't. It's
I know.
too many days.
Listen, I'm not asking you to download fucking Tubi and watch Evolve, or whatever. But LFG, I'm telling you, bro, it is so great, so great.
Yep.
And the legends that are involved are great.
And your boy got hurt, so you had to have been very happy about.
I was so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so happy. But yeah, you guys really should give it a shot and check it out. It's well done. It's really tough enough, a new age version.
But you know what, Steve? Because I know not everybody's watching yet, but I have to give kudos to Destiny with the whole Michelle McCool thing, going right up to the Undertaker, and she had enough balls to ask that if she could do Hellgate.
Yes and no. Part of me, yes. The other part of me was she wouldn't have done that if Michelle didn't say you might want to go ask his permission. It wasn't like she thought to do it on her own.
Right, but who in their right mind thinks about that suggestion or whatever that's not going to shit their pants to go walk up and ask Mark Calloway if they could use your move?
I mean, if the wife recommended it, I'd feel a little more comfortable, but I wouldn't do it solely on my own without shitting myself, especially with The Undertaker.
Exactly.
I mean, David Rosca doesn't have WWE pay-per-view on his Netflix.
Well, that's because it's on Peacock.
Right. Yeah, they still the pay-per-views are staying on Peacock until 2026.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're moving over to Netflix. So it's all, and that's kind of a crappy thing too, because you either have to have cable that includes a Peacock subscription or a Peacock subscription and Netflix to try and get both, your weekly stuff and the pay-per-views.
It is a lot though. It is a lot of wrestling every week. It really is. But this is an hour, I think, hour and a half, and it's so good.
Yeah. It is. It's a really, really good show.
You guys have favorites yet?
Yes.
Yes.
Who's your favorite, Kat?
The Polynesian girl, I cannot remember her name, and Shiloh Hill.
Is that her ring name? I cannot remember her name, or you just can't remember her name?
I cannot remember her name. Steve knows who I'm talking about. There's a Polynesian girl that's on Booker T's team that is out of this freaking world.
Mm.
And then the other one for the guys, it's either Chris Island or Shiloh Hill.
How about you, Steve?
I actually agree with Kat, Shiloh Hill, and the Polynesian girl, who I also can't remember her fucking name.
Oh, is that the thicker lady?
Oh yeah, she's Samoan.
Yeah, I seen her promo. Her promo is well, I want her to be courteous. Her promos, and no, when I mean thick, because she's solid. You know, she's not like
she's Samoan.
She's a solid girl, Samoan, and her promo was like real dead on. It was pretty good.
Oh yeah,
And
she's got Samoan blood. Huh?
Yeah, and she's a former rugby player. She has power beyond power, and the other thing that I loved about her was when they were talking to her and everything, she said the one thing that I always try to be cautious of because of my size is I always try to look out for who I'm wrestling against because I don't want to hurt someone. That takes a lot of skill to be able, mindset to think like that. She has the look, she's good on the mic, she has the agility, and she is just really, really good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna watch the show. Stop bending my arm.
Listen, just for Bubba Ray Dudley arguing with the one kid, but that's all I'm gonna say. Just start from the first episode and watch Bubba Ray Dudley and BJ go at it. It is just for that alone, the drama is worth it.
Tara wants to know if she's an Oos because she looks like them. She is, as far as I know, she's not. I don't think she has any.
The only person that I know of that has any like tie into anything of a professional nature is Evander Holyfield.
Right, Evander Holyfield's son. True, he's in it, and then the fiance of Maxine Dupree, who is very well liked and is like one of the front runners. And then the other one is there's a guy he's like a hillbilly Louisiana guy, and he's dating Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, and he put on a hell of a match this week too.
Yeah, he did.
He was freaking. I liked the personality that he was finally showing.
But it's kind of cool because like they have matches, and then all the legends are critiquing, and then you see them actually listening in their next match, and they're making the changes that they're. It's very cool. It's a good watch.
And then Road Dogg Jesse James was the one that gave them the promo lesson this week. So.
Right, so they always have superstars coming in and like doing stuff with them. So it's cool.
I like this better than Tough Enough because these kids already know how to wrestle. So now it's expanding on their craft. Whereas in Tough Enough, you really didn't. You had to learn how to take a bump.
And with Tough Enough, if you won, you got on the main roster, where this is you win, you get a contract with NXT. So I like that too. It's like you just continue to go through the motions. So
you have more time to learn before you get up there and everything.
Right.
Now, who is the there's a hearing impaired Miles? Is it Miles something that's in NXT? Yeah. Have you guys been seeing? He's on Twitter, and he keeps saying stuff like, they say John, you can't see John Cena, but I literally can't hear, and like. The group should be like, he should team up with like John Cena and The Rock to be like, he can't hear me, can't see me, or whatever. Like he's doing all these puns of like being
no evil.
yeah, exactly. And then he said something about Randy Orton, where he's like, Randy Orton hears voices in his head and I can't hear shit. It's like, oh, all right, cool. All right. Oh.
That's pretty funny.
That's great.
Yeah, I guess he's a good Twitter follow. I don't know how good of a wrestler he is, but he's been cracking some jokes lately.
I have a question about unknown wrestlers. So, as a Dominican that I am, I found out the other day that there's this guy in the Indies right now called Cha Cha Charlie. Has anybody ever heard of him?
Oh no, what?
No, you haven't heard of him?
No, I haven't heard of Cha Cha Charlie.
Yeah, Cha Cha Charlie, and he's Dominican. He reps the color, so I was so proud. I had to like follow him. So I follow him on Instagram. He's got like a belt and everything now. So I thought one of you might know him.
No,
if I know him.
A clue.
What indie does he wrestle out of?
Oh, you got me there, hon. I don't even look at that. I just scroll by and I'm like, oh, he's got a belt. Keep it going. I don't.
Dave Abbey on YouTube. On another note, Tony Storm is killing it. I don't think there's another wrestler, male or female, that can cut a promo close to as good as she. And Ricky Saints is dead on arrival. So I can't disagree with one thing that he just said. Tony Storm is amazing. Her promos are so fucking great. Everything about this gimmick has been a home run from start to finish. She is the best thing in AEW right now. Hands
Will she ever
down.
go back?
What?
Will she ever go back?
You never say never. But if WWE brings her back, they have to bring her back with this gimmick.
She's
It
This
has
whole-
to be.
It's been and now they're setting up for is Revolution this weekend or next weekend? But anyway, they're setting up the Hollywood ending, which seems to be a no DQ, no holds barred, falls count anywhere, street fight kind of deal. I don't know what to expect because they've made it clear that pinfalls can happen anywhere, and knowing these two and the story that they've been playing out, I kind of expect an homage to the Gold Dust Roddy Piper Hollywood backlot brawl or something. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to throw somebody off the Hollywood sign. Like, there's shenanigans are going to happen. It's happening in LA. Like, I'm expecting I'm expecting big things from the Revolution pay-per-view in general. It looks stacked, but especially Tony and Mariah. They've been killing it lately.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you see the because Tony got attacked by Mariah and got pile driver onto the stage, and then the next week Tony cuts a promo like from her bed, and she's like recovering, but like the room is all like weirdly white, and she's like dressed in white
on stage and waking up to panic doctors and dozens of messages asking me if I'll ever walk again. It really gives you time to think. It gives you time to think if this has all been worth it, or if the past 15 years of my life have been a complete waste of time, because my dreams have been haunted by a woman who won't let me wake up. Darling, let's get lucid. What do you want, Mariah? My title? You can pry it from my cold, dead hips. My soul? I'm going to leave it home. Or do you just want the spotlight that drove you to me in the first place? Now that I can give you. Did you like Australia? Because I consider it foreplay. You want a Hollywood ending? Well, so do I. And because nothing ever ends well in Tinseltown. Disqualifications? I don't want them. Countouts? I don't need them. Rope breaks? Piss off. Not a single hold will be barred, and falls count anywhere in the entire bloody building. Mariah, my sweet, dear Mariah, I hope you believe in God. Because now, you're going to meet her.
Okay, Tony.
She's doing.
She's
so
amazing.
Bro,
Amazing.
she's very good. Holy shit, that was
I
a
gotta
good
watch
promo.
this pay per view. That was wild.
Yeah,
Dude, Tony Storm is the best. She's the best.
She's been killing it. I mean, this whole thing with Swerve and Ricochet has been great. I don't know if anybody, if you haven't been following AEW, basically, Ricochet or Swerve was coming out wearing Jimmy Rave's robe from the Embassy, which was Prince Nana's group in Ring of Honor, going back literally like 30 years. And everybody who was the crown jewel of the Embassy would wear this robe. Jimmy Rave passed away a few years ago, unfortunately. But the robe, which had gone missing for several years, and his daughter was posting, "Please help me find my dad's robe." Long story short, somebody found it, in some storage container or something, got it back to Swerve, or got it back to Rick, to Nana, and Swerve's been wearing it. Ricochet stole it, and now there's this thing of like Ricochet. Nana's like, "You have to get my jacket back from Ricochet, or we're done." So is this like, the story is like, will Nana just like turn heel on Swerve to go with Ricochet so he could at least be with the guy who takes his robe, who took the robe, or is Swerve going to like really fight for his friend's robe and get his property back? Like that's going to be awesome. Everything that's being set up for this pay-per-view looks like a lot of fun. So
yeah, definitely.
Who's the champ?
It's right, or the
AEW
champion
champ
of the
over there?
pay-per-views.
It's Moxley, and he's
still
going.
the champ. Okay.
He's going against Adam Copeland, Edge, and nobody really knows what's going to happen because there's still AEW's version of the Money in the Bank is out there, and Christian has it.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
So if Edge wins and then
Right
Christian
away.
just comes out and right away cashes in on him,
Right, it's going to happen because
That'd be great.
you
would
know
be
it's
so
going to
great.
happen. That's the kind of dick Christian is.
and that's the thing. He's been teasing it. He's been walking out with the clipboard or whatever that has the contract on it, and he'll like make like he's going to do it. And yeah, he's picking his spots, and I feel like we're that might be the finish of this match, man. It might be Moxley loses and then immediately Edge gets cashed in on.
Adam Copeland, all bloodied up in the middle of the ring, confetti coming down,
Mhm.
beat the shit in the middle of the ring. His boy Christian's music hits, and he walks down with
Yeah.
Dinosaurus.
Right, and that would be like
rips his ass.
that would be like the first time Edge cashed in on Cena. Cena fought through a whole elimination chamber. He's all beat up. He thinks his night's over, and then boom.
Deja vu.
Man, that would be crazy. Let me
That
see what the when
cool.
is now. I got to look it up because is it this weekend? March the 9th. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, this weekend.
Yeah, it's a good. Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher is going to be a great match. MJF, Hangman have been killing it with the promos. Swerve, Ricochet, Mercedes Moné against Momo Watanabe. Who
I just
won
can't see myself paying $60 to watch AEW.
When's the last time you've paid for a pay per view? Really, you guys still pay for pay per views?
Where do you watch AEW pay per views? Every time I see them, it's like I don't watch. I don't pay for pay per views. I got Netflix and Peacock.
Right. No, there's some links. There's some links that you gotta go to, but I can get them.
I have a friend who orders every single one and then puts it on a disc and then gives me the disc and I watch it that way.
Wow.
I ain't paying for that shit.
Especially not $60. No.
Fuck no. No, and nowadays too, you can see the highlights of every match on TikTok or YouTube. So
So WWE took that whole segment from the end of the pay-per-view and put it up for free on YouTube. The whole John Cena, Cody Rhodes Rock confrontation.
I don't doubt it. That segment has already been seen 500 million times on YouTube.
It's a big deal.
Jesus.
That just tells you how big it is. Dave Roscoe, Queen of the Ring is coming out March 7th this Friday. I don't know much about it, to be honest.
Yeah,
that's a TV show. Yeah.
Oh, it's a TV show?
No, it's I thought it was I thought it was that movie about what's her name? Yeah, it's a movie about Mildred Burke.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Mildred Burke being a women's wrestler, I'm assuming?
Yeah, like a 1950s. She was one of the early women's champions. So there's an actress, Emily Bett Rickards, who's playing Mildred Burke in Queen of the Ring. But
that's the girl from Arrow.
Yeah, so Camille, Tony Storm, and Naomi are all in, and Britt Baker and Jim Cornette are all in this movie as character, like secondary characters.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What is it going to be on?
Let's see.
Netflix?
Release dates. I mean, it looks like it might be coming out on like a movie, man.
Oh,
like
in the theater?
Oh, like in the theaters?
Yeah, so Queen of the Ring premiered at the Buffalo International Film Festival October 15th of 24, scheduled to be released in theaters in the United States March 7th, 25.
That's Thursday, right?
So this weekend, Queen of the Ring, the film will be coming out, and then I assume it'll be,
I'll
it'll
probably
be on
wait
streaming.
until it's on video.
Yeah, it'll be on like Max or Netflix or something soon enough. But I like that it's a mainstream company making a movie about wrestling that's getting out there in the public, and it's not like a Nacho Libre that's making fun of wrestling. It's something. It's not no holds barred.
Nacho Libre, don't shit on Nacho Libre. That was a great movie.
Nacho Libre. I love that movie, but it is silly. It's not like the
Basically,
wrestler
Rey
or whatever.
Mysterio's life.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, we are reaching the top of the hour.
Yes. Oh man, and I could sit here and talk about Nacho Libre for another hour, but we won't do that right now. What a strange little movie. The people who did Napoleon Dynamite were the ones who made that movie. It makes a lot of sense when you watch it.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, this makes a lot of
that tracks.
Jared Hess or whatever his name is. Yeah, oh man. So maybe I'll go see Queen of the Ring. If I see it or if I grab it online somewhere, I'll definitely pop in a review. Revolution's this weekend. I'm sure I'll be watching it. Al, if you need a link, I'll find you a link. And, if anybody else watches it, we'll be reviewing that. And otherwise, we'll be back next Tuesday, 9 p.m. on Eastern Time for another edition of the War Report After Dark. We are on the road to WrestleMania, so most of the conversation is indeed centered around the happenings that are leading to the big two-night, I still wish it was one night, but here we are, two-night event that is WrestleMania, and how the card is going to shake out, whether singles matches become triple threat matches or multi-man matches or whatever. We are on the way. We're figuring it out every single Monday and Friday on Raw and SmackDown. The picture gets a little bit clearer. So we'll be discussing all things pro wrestling. Tuesday nights, 9:30 Eastern Time. We stream on Steve's LinkedIn, the Tag Me a Date Facebook page, which if you type Tag Me a Date into your Facebook search and hit the enter button, you can see the page, hit the thumbs up. Same thing on YouTube. We're also live streaming on YouTube simultaneously. Go to Tag Me a Date, type Tag Me a Date in your search bar in YouTube, hit the enter button. Then you're going to want to go click subscribe and the bell to get notified when we upload a new video or when we go live. The Facebook page and the YouTube both have archives of past shows if you want to go look there. You can also, if you prefer an audio version to the video version of the podcast, use your favorite podcast app, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play Podcast, Apple Podcast. You look for you can put in the search, Tag Me a Date, the War Report, whatever. We'll put in some keywords. Hit the search. You'll find us. We put the graphic that's up in the corner there, as our icon. We have it in the description. We tell you it's our War Report podcast. I mentioned Steve and Vince and all that. And you can just hit subscribe. Within the hour of us going off the air, Ryan grabs the audio and, throws it up on the podcast apps so you can take it with you on the road or whatever it is that you're doing throughout the day where you need to listen to a podcast. And last but not least, thank you guys who are currently in the chat or have been in the chat tonight. David Roska jumped in at 3:48 p.m. to comment on John Cena turning heel. He commented on the scheduled thing on the YouTube page. So thank you, David. That's the earliest I've seen anybody comment on one of our things. Tara, of course, always here. Ryan was in the chat. Dave Abbey was in the chat. And I think that rounds out our commenters for today. Like, subscribe, share it if you're enjoying it. Have other friends, watch the show. If they have questions or concerns or whatever, they want to hop in the chat, give us their opinion. We always throw it on the screen and talk about it. So the more the merrier. And if you're listening and you want to get in on the chat, just come join us next week, 9 p.m. on Eastern Time for another edition of the War Report After Dark. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll be back again next Tuesday. So you guys have a great week.